So I found that after the bootcamp, a lot of questions were coming in around how do you figure out what your pain points are? What if I sell this kind of products, like, wall art or something like that? What are the pain points? I don't really understand how to get to that. So I thought I would just show you a really quick and easy process that you can help to kind of overcome this thinking and start to get ideas like a little bit outside of the box in terms of what your customer pain points might be, right? So what you would need to have done by this point is work through the workbook, the first workbook about your ideal customer, so that you get a good idea of who that person is, because we don't want to start this without that kind of element of it, right? You need to kind of have a really strong understanding of who that person is and how you can maybe tap into some of the stuff that we need to know about them. So I will just grab up the workbook quickly, actually, so that we can use it. So here we go. We have let's come to Dream Customer. So took you through all of this obviously on the first day, so I won't go into detail about this, but you should have kind of done this detailed kind of brain dump around who that customer is and maybe what you think might be important to them, right? So that you've kind of started to think about this. So then what I would have encouraged you to do is I would encourage you to come into ChatGPT. So if you haven't heard of ChatGPT, which I'm sure most of you have, it is an AI tool, it's a predictive language tool. So what it is artificial intelligence, and it is basically scouring the internet, scouring, the upload of the internet. It's not real time. I won't go into the details of that now, but it is basically taking your question and then going into all of this data to figure out what the answer might be, right? So it's kind of like an encyclopedia almost. It's like using Google, but getting really specific results. And what I would really like to stress at the start of this is, because I see a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm a ChatGPT prompt engineer, and this is the exact prompt you need to use to get this result from ChatGPT. And actually, I don't use ChatGPT in that way at all. I use it exactly as the name says, for a chat. And I find that I get the most beneficial results from ChatGPT by just doing this, right? So literally opening up conversations and asking questions and kind of digging into the things that we think are good and we think are not good, right? So I might come in here and say, so the website is chatgpt.com. You can sign up for a free account. I am using a paid account. The results are slightly different, but the free account is absolutely fine too. And what you would want to do is you would want to just start off with the question. So you might say, hi there. And by the way, I know it's a robot, but I am very polite to it still. Anyway, I can't break out of that. So I realise that might be weird, a little bit weird. So hi there. I'm trying to figure out the pain points my ideal customer might have. My customer is, so let's use my brand as an example, a bride-to-be who is coming to me for her on the day wedding stationery. Okay. Now I go with bride-to-be because I want to be quite specific here. It is couples, it is, it might be brides and grooms, it might be grooms, whatever it might be. I generally know that 90% of the people who come to me are female, so I'm going with bride-to-be, right? So I'm just giving a really top level, like this is who they are. They're a bride-to-be, and they're coming to me for their on the day wedding stationery. Now, what you would want to do here is add any extra context as well. So I might say, she is not looking for luxury, high budget items, but more middle range products that are not DIY and help her, are not DIY, but not going to break the bank, right? Can you help me by listing out some of the desires, pain points this customer might have? Okay, so we'll just start like this. Happy to help out. Here's a list of desire and pain points. Desires, personalisation. She wants her stationery to feel unique and reflective of her personality and wedding theme. Even though she's not looking for luxury, she wants the stationery to look and feel high quality. She desires a cohesive look. Yeah, this is a big one. So a lot of people come to me and say, I love this sign. Can you do wedding invitations in this style? Can you do menus in this style? Can you do X, Y, and Z in this style? So this is a great one. She's seeking a balance between cost and quality, looking for beautiful designs that don't cost a fortune. She wants simple, hassle-free ordering process with clear options. She needs a stationery to arrive on time without any delays. This is absolutely spot on. And now ChatGPT might have some memory of the conversations I've had with it before about my ideal customer, so some of this might actually be playing into what I've already told it, but you will have to just see what comes up when you start a new account, and you might need to train it a little bit to like, okay, this is right, but this is wrong, right? So she values good customer service, especially if she has questions or needs help with customization, trendy looks timeless. She wants designs that are modern and stylish but won't look dated in a few years. This is not really relevant a few years because obviously the wedding is right now. Budget constraint, she's worried about overspending and wants to stick to her budget. She's with so many options available, she might feel overwhelmed and unsure about what to choose. She's worried that affordable options might look cheap or be poorly made. Coordination issues, she might struggle with ensuring. Sometimes it kind of flips, so it's kind of going cohesion and then coordination issues. They're like flipping the desires and pain points around here. Customization complexity, she could find the customization process confusing or too complicated. She's anxious about potential delays. Yes, this is a big one. If she encounters poor customer service or lack of support, it could significantly impact her experience, and any last minute changes or needs could be a major stressor, especially if the process for making changes isn't smooth. So actually this nails my ideal customer pain points, right? So I think that ChatGPT has had a bit of an advantage here by me talking to it in the past about some of these things. So what I might say here is if there was something that I didn't like, so for example I was like, do you know what, this is number 3 is absolutely not relevant, please just disregard this, and then it might recreate it. Without that, you could also say 1 and 2 are great. Can you go deeper on these? Because this is where I really want to focus the issue, right? For example, you might say, actually, it's budget and delivery delays. They are the big ones I want to focus in on. Or you might go, do you know what? They're all absolutely spot on. So I might then, in this case, say, these are spot on. All spot on. Please could you give me ideas as to how I can, A, tap into those desires, B, handle objection. B, we would want to talk about pain points. So I guess handle the pain points, handle those pain points and any objections my customer might have to ordering from me via messaging angles in my descriptions and or imagery. Okay, so let's just see what it comes back with. Make your wedding, so it's kind of right in the messaging for me. I was kind of hoping that it would just say you could talk about this angle, but it's right in the messaging for me here, which is okay. What I would always say with this, and a massive disclaimer here, please do not ever copy and paste lines out of ChatGPT. They probably are going to sound like a robot wrote them, right? So, for example, make your wedding uniquely yours with our personalised stationery. Each piece is crafted to reflect your style and theme. This sounds like a robot wrote it, right? But actually, I might tweak that and instead say your wedding sign should be as unique as, or wedding signs as unique as your relationship, you know, as your love story. Every piece is handcrafted to reflect to reflect the love in your relationship, something like that as well, right? I might really think about that one. Showcase a variety of customized stationery examples with different themes, colours and designs. Now, this is where ChatGPT gets things wrong, right? Because it's not got all the answers. It is a predictive tool. I would not be showing a variety of customized stationery examples within a listing because I would be showing a specific listing style, right? So this is where we want to take things with a pinch of salt. Our stationery combines elegance and quality without the hefty price tag. Impress your guests with our premium feel and finish. So this is okay, actually. And in terms of the actual copy, it's not too bad at all. Yeah, it's okay. Create a seamless look for your big day without matching sets. Display complete sets together. So this is a good idea. Beautiful wedding stationery doesn't have to break the bank. Discover a range of affordable options that don't compromise on style. This is perfect. Beautiful wedding stationery doesn't have to break the bank. So this is actually better, I would say, than, you know, that without the hefty price tag here. Enjoy a hassle-free ordering process with easy-to-use customization tools and friendly customer support. Get your stationery on time with a reliable delivery service. We ensure everything arrives before your big day. So this might be, you might offer a guarantee that it arrives or your money back, or you might just say, you know, so what I do, for example, is I call out tracks reliably with DPD, who is a known good company in the UK. So Royal Mail can get a bad rep. Hermes or Every, as they now are, can get a bad rep. So I use DPD because I know that that's important, and I know that they get end-to-end tracking, text on the day of delivery, you know, they can change the delivery, change the safe place. So I pull all of that out in my listings and say, hey, by the way, this is who it comes with, this is everything you get, you don't need to worry. Stay stylish with our modern designs that will look just as beautiful in your wedding album years from now. So we offer a range of options to suit every budget without sacrificing quality or style. I actually think that this is completely wrong because we don't want to talk about offering budgets for every and sacrificing every budget, so suiting every budget, right? Because that's the whole trying to appeal to everyone, right? So I wouldn't use this. But I would say, not sure where to start, check out our curated collection to find the perfect match to your theme. So what I might actually flip this into is, if you're struggling with where to start, here is the 5 best-selling, and this would be less in an Etsy listing and more on a social post, for example. Here is the 5 best-selling styles of summer 2024, right? But I wouldn't necessarily pull that out in an Etsy message. But what I might do instead is pull it out in a message in an image in my listing to kind of say, if you're struggling to find everything you need, drop me a message and I'll pull a custom package together for you, right? See what our satisfied brides have to say with testimonials, makes sense. Design experts ensure that all you. So this, you can kind of see it's doing quite well. Kind of talking to those pain points, right? So what I might want to do at this point is I might want to feed back on anything that's wrong. So I might say, you know what, I wouldn't say suiting options suits every budget, because I'm not a budget stationer and don't want to attract the wrong type of bargain shoppers. I also want to make sure people are compelled to purchase and not directed away from the main listing. With this in mind, please can you write me the top 10 messaging angles for handling these objections and speaking and pain points. Handling these objections, desires and pain points. Let's see what it comes up with. So it's really going hard after messaging. So what I might do is I'll let it write it and just say, so I probably directed it in the wrong direction at the start because I talked about messaging up here via messaging angles in my description. So it's trying to write the messaging itself, whereas I would actually want to just get to that pain point. So I might just say, instead of writing the copy, please can you summarize the pain points and desires the customer has using the language they might use. Let's just see if this flips on its head. I want beautiful illustration, but I can't afford to spend a fortune. There's so many choices, I don't know where to start. I'm scared that affordable options will look cheap or won't be well made. How do I make sure my stationery pieces go together perfectly? I need customization to be easy and so straightforward. What if my stationery doesn't arrive in time? I can't handle the stress. This is perfect, right? So this is getting into your customer mindset and going, this is what they're thinking when they're coming to land on your listing, okay? So I then might say, okay, great. Please can you, let's choose one. Please can you, what might we say here? I want beautiful stationery, but I can't afford to spend a fortune. I don't know where to start. I might go with quality. Please can you focus in on quality and quality, customization and delivery, anxiety, and write me a FAQ bullet point list that overcomes those objections without overcomes those objections. Write me a FAQ bullet point that overcomes those objections whilst tapping into language they are thinking. Here we go, this is great, right? So this could go into your FAQ section, it could go into your description, you could also pull out different infographics, right? So it might be, we might put all of this together in our FAQs if we think it's right. This is perfect here, like we provide, will I see a proof before my stationery is printed? Yes, we provide digital proofs for approval before we print anything. This way you can ensure everything looks exactly as you want it. This is a massive objection my customers have because they're worried that they're not going to like it when it arrives, and they don't know whether they want to order it, they don't know whether they want to spend that kind of money with me if they're not going to like it. So actually knowing this is really important. And I've noticed that people ask me this a lot, so actually I should be putting this into my FAQs and I should be putting this into my listings, right? So what I might do is I might create an infographic and go, I might either have an infographic with one or two of these FAQs in it, not too much, not too overwhelming, but just to handle a few objections. Or I might have, one of my mock-ups up there, or one of my design styles up there, and then some text to the side saying, you'll receive a digital proof for your approval before I print anything. This way you can ensure everything looks exactly as you want it, right? Handles that objection in an image, in your description, in your FAQs, right? So I hope this has helped to give you kind of the information or give you kind of inspiration to figure out what those pain points are and how to tap into them, right? I'll just do a very quick example and just say, okay, in fact, let's start a new chat and let's go with this again. And we could start with, and we'll do a different example. So we'll do wall art because I know this is a really difficult one. I'm trying to figure out the pain points my customer is, so maybe we don't even know well who our customer is at this point, right? I sell digital, oh my God, I can't get my words out today. Digital wall art. I think I've been speaking too much this week. I sell digital wall art featuring my own custom designs, and I focus on, I'm just thinking of a new student that's joined my membership. I focus on Higgy and what's the other word? Higgy style. I think that's not actually how you say that. Prints for cozy homes, right? Okay, let's just make this up. Let's get rid of this because we don't know this right now about our customer necessarily. Can you help by listing out some of the design pain points this customer might have? So let's just see what it comes up with, because I think something like print is really difficult to come up with this for, right? But actually it is in our heads, but ChatGPT will help us figure it out, right? So they might be wanting to create a cozy environment. They might be looking for personalization. They might be looking for quality, high quality prints that won't fade or look cheap. This will be a massive one for any print sellers. Trend design, staying on top of the latest Higgy and home decor trends. So this is where ChatGPT might get a bit confused, like what is a Higgy and home decor trend, right? Convenience of instantly downloadable art that they can print at home or through a local service. Stylish without breaking the bank. This is a big one, especially if they like to change their decor with the season. So I would say this is a big thing for digital wall art space, right? If people are buying digital wall art consistently and buying it to print and frame themselves, they probably want to change it quite often, right? They're not investing in really unique, like one-of-a-kind pieces that cost a fortune because they want to swap things out, right? And keep things fresh in their home. So one of the big things you might talk about in this space is a print for every season. A home refresh that won't break the bank, right? New season, new wall art. It really helps to bring your customers back in as well. If they're going, you know what, I bought a lobster print from her over the summer, but actually we're going into autumn. It looks a bit weird on my wall now because I feel like I want to go a bit more cozy. Oh, she's got a pumpkin print, whatever it might be, right? So the pain points might be overwhelm with choice, lack of inspiration, poor quality, technical issues, size and fit concerns. Again, this is massive for digital wall art. If people are buying digital downloads, they do not necessarily know what their dimensions are, or they might be coming with a frame already, with a frame in mind, and going, I want wall art to fit to this frame, and then they go into a listing, they go, I have no idea what any of this means, and I don't know if it's going to fit to this frame, so then they leave, right? So that's a massive thing, really being really crystal clear on size and fit, and also, potentially going, whatever size you want, I'll make it for you. If you don't see the size you need, let me know. Sustainability concerns, looking for eco-friendly. ChatGPT loves to talk about eco-friendly options, right? I don't know why. I know obviously there's a lot of people who do look for this, but I actually don't think it is a main pain point for most people who are buying digital wall art. So not necessarily relevant, but artists who prioritise sustainability in their materials and processes, maybe, but also if it is digital wall art, is that relevant? I don't know really. Desire for timeless pieces that won't go out of style quickly, ensuring the investment feels worthwhile. So this actually contradicts what we've said here with the especially if they like to change the decor with the seasons. So you can see this is a bit vaguer because I haven't given it as much information about their ideal customer as you will need to do when you spend that time in the workbook. So you've done your brain dump, you've thought about these things, the desire, the pain point, their interest alignment, the messaging. So even if you just have words for each of these, right? So even if you just go 3 words in the desire box, 3 words in the pain point box that you think might be relevant to your customer, how your products align with their interests. So, if it is that you are creating planners for fitness fanatics, right? Maybe that's the case. That's all you know about there's people you're creating for right now, start to ask ChatGPT these questions, okay? I will link a document with the actual prompts that I've used that you can try out, but just try and feed it as much information as you can, because I think it's really obvious between the chat that we used before, where I gave it a little bit more information. So what did I say? I said, she's a bride-to-be, she's coming for her on the way. I'm only given a few things. She's coming for her on the way day wedding stationery. She's not looking for luxury or high-budget items, because that's not what I sell. So I don't necessarily need to know that about the customer right now. I just know it because I don't sell luxury and high-budget items. I don't sell £300 signs, right? Mine are around the £60, £50 sign range. So they're not 3, 4, up to £10 in the entry-level price point. They are that middle range price point, but they're also not all the way up here either. And then I've said they are not DIY because I'm doing them for you, but they're also not going to break the bank. Can you help me by listing it out? So you can see the difference in the specificity. The specificity, I don't know how to say that word, from my version with a little bit more detail versus this is a little bit vaguer, a little, like, not necessarily as specific as it kind of came up with for mine, because I've given it that little bit extra context. So really try to give it as much context as you can, and then what you can do is, by the time you get to the end of that that chat with them and you've got all of those pain points and desires, you can then start to tap into these things in your listings as well. And if you decide to try this training, please, I would absolutely love for you to go, okay, this is what I've come up with, this is my customer, a little bit of a summary, this is my pain points, this is my desires, this is what I'm thinking of pulling through into my listings. And you never know, there might be somebody who is your exact ideal customer in the group who can feed back on whether or not that's going to align with them, whether or not that would make them buy, whether or not that's going to make them really pay attention to this, right? So I hope that helps. Give me a shout if you have any feedback on this. I would love to know your thoughts on it, and I will catch you all later. Bye. Okay, so I just decided to give a little bit of extra context on this as well. So I was thinking about it when I was talking about the context you need to give to ChatGPT so that it understands, enough about your ideal customer, enough about your products to give you valuable information. And I thought about this and I thought, actually, sometimes we are not even at that stage where we have this context either. So this is going to help you to do the pre-work to get to the point where you can actually ask the questions. So I wrote down the questions specifically so you can just copy and paste them out that I asked ChatGPT. Again, you want to have conversations with ChatGPT because that is the best way to get the most out of it. So kind of feeding back, telling it what you like, what you don't like, making sure that you are kind of feeding back, actually, this isn't relevant, this is relevant. So this is the actual prompts that we use that I walked you through before. But if you are struggling to even get to this point, I've given you some questions that you can actually ask ChatGPT in the first place to get to that point, right? So you can ask, and what I've done is I've given the extra context that you will absolutely need to give to get the right kind of valuable messaging back out of the platform itself. So can you help me identify the demographics of my ideal customer for this product? And briefly describe your product and any initial thoughts on who might use it, right? So then it's going to break down things like age, gender, location, all of that stuff. It's somewhat important. It's somewhat important to have a picture of your ideal customer and kind of have, a rough idea of kind of age and lifestyle and things like that. But what we really want to focus in on is the more nitty gritty around desires, pain points, beliefs, values, all of that stuff. So do this one to get a little bit of context, but then you want to really go more into the detail of what kind of person would most likely benefit from this product, and describe what your product does, or what it offers, what it is, and any assumptions you actually currently have about your potential customers. And again, please remember to not just ask this question and go, okay, copy and paste, that's the answer, but give feedback, dig a bit deeper. So you might put this prompt in and then say, actually, yeah, I really like this angle that you've gone for. Can you give me more in that space? Can we talk more about this particular trait? Can we talk more about that? I think this is shaping up to be correct, whereas this is maybe not so much. And really feedback and talk to ChatGPT, right? I have spent hours talking to ChatGPT to really get into the skin of things. So what kind of person would most likely benefit from? Can you help me understand the income level or spending capacity? Now, this is important because what it's going to help you to do is position your products in the market as well. So in terms of, your price points, in terms of the way that you speak about the luxury elements of it. So for example, if you have, really like high value handcrafted products, you probably are going after somebody who has the disposable income to spend on that kind of product, right? Whereas if you offer a more entry level budget products, then you can speak to things like the value and things like that. So it's so that you get in the right messaging and things like that as well. What are the common characteristics of people who would use this product? So anything else, this is just to give you extra context again and to really start to build this picture up of this customer. How do I determine the lifestyle or interest of my ideal customer? And that's going to help you to really go into like interests, beliefs. Beliefs is another one that you could do here. So the lifestyles, beliefs, values, or interests of my ideal customer. So really kind of going to go deep into their interests, their beliefs, their values, all of that good stuff that's going to help you to make sure you're pulling out the right things. For example, if they really value, like I said, like longevity and long-lasting high-quality products, then you can talk to that in your descriptions and in your listing images and things like that. So the kind of context you need to provide, a product description, so a brief overview of what you offer, any information or data you already have about your existing customers, any assumptions or hypotheses you have about your current customers, and any market research or observations you've made about your target audience. So this is what's going to help to really kind of build that picture up and get the best out of ChatGPT. So example, can you help me identify the demographics of my ideal customer for my affordable wedding stationery? I offer mid-range wedding stationery that includes invitations, menus, place cards. I think my customers are typically women planning their own weddings, right? It's not huge amounts of data, it's not huge amounts of detail, but it's going to go, instead of going to ChatGPT, I sell wedding stationery, huge, broad, we've gone a little bit narrower, right? It's affordable wedding stationery and these are the products that I sell, okay? And I think that my customer is female and they're planning their own weddings. It's not wedding planners that are doing this, it's somebody who's planning their own wedding. And then further questions you can ask to define this ideal customer, basically just to dig a little bit deeper on some of this stuff that we've done up here. So we have understanding their desires. What are the key desires? Can you list the main things they want from my products? How do I identify what my ideal customer values the most? What are the pain points? What are the main pain points or challenges? How can I determine the biggest frustrations? Again, just copy and paste these questions into ChatGPT or reword them to make sense to you. You'll have a copy of all of this. Can you list the common objections? So things that might stop your customer from buying. And that's a really, really important thing that we need to pull out in the listings to make sure we're going, okay, these things might stop people from buying. So we need to then flip that on its head and say, these are the reasons that you should check out and you should buy right now. Because those objections that you might have are counteracted by this thing that I'm doing, for example. Then the messaging, how can I craft messaging that taps into my ideal customer's desires? What are some effective ways? And you would want to do these in order so that you've got your ideal pain points, you've kind of really tapped into things, you've fed back that these are relevant, these are not relevant, and kind of built up a picture of who this customer is. And then you can start to tap into, okay, how do I craft messaging around this? What is the language they're using? So these are just additional add-ons to the first questions that we did, but just to help to provide more context and get more out of ChatGPT. And then specific areas of focus. So how can I emphasize quality in my messaging? How can I highlight customization? So again, these will just be very much tailored to what it is that you've got out of the pain points, things like that. So maybe I just put in how can I emphasize this pain point, e.g. quality. What are the best ways to highlight this desire? E.g. customization options. So these are the things that you've already determined earlier on. These are just going a little bit deeper. How can I address, again, objection, e.g. delivery concerns in my messaging to reassure my customers. And then, like I say, you would want to do this in order, because then what you can start to do is start to craft your FAQs from this, so you've got really, really crystal clear on your customers. So can you help me to write an FAQ that addresses these concerns that we've just kind of gone through? XYZ concerns. What should I include in my FAQs to make XYZ benefits, desires? How can I create an FAQ section that alleviates objection? Okay, e.g. delivery anxiety. And then just some general tips at the end. What are some overall tips for writing compelling product descriptions? So just to help, once it's got all of this context, it might help to bring in, certain words that you might want to use, certain languages that you might want to use, certain ways you want to dress things up. How can I use customer testimonials to build trust and address concerns? So how can you weave that into your messaging? So instead of just going, here's a review from this customer, but how can you maybe talk about, the story of this customer that you worked with? What are some visual elements I should include in my product listings to appeal to my ideal customer? And you're always going to get different kind of reviews and different information from ChatGPT, but it just helps to inspire and spark ideas. For example, it might say, include an infographic of your, delivery turnaround time or something like that. So this is the kind of additional resource to go alongside the main video. I'll just kind of bolt this onto the end of the video anyway, so it should all just come through in one video. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you later.